The exciting Eyre Hub project planned for the Kimber region on the Eyre Peninsula in beautiful South Australia is a membership-based not-for-profit community organisation developing a major grain storage and transport facility to benefit the region's farmers and the transport industry as a whole. We've taken a little time out to speak with Eyre Hub Chairman Andrew Baldock to find out more about him, the amazing project his organisation has underway, and the future plans for the Eyre Hub development. Here's that conversation we had. Good morning, Andrew. It's great to have this opportunity to chat with you today about Eyre Hub.
Likewise. Thanks, Andy.
Before we get into what Eyre Hub is all about, we might just take a moment to get to know you a little bit better first. Can you tell us a little bit about your own farming background in regional Kimber and the experience within the primary producers industry that you've had? I know you're a farmer yourself, but tell us about why Eyre Hub is happening and what made you start this vision for Kimber.
Thanks, Andy. So I'm a fourth-generation family farmer at Kimber on the Upper Eyre Peninsula. Mixed farm, working with my parents and my brother-in-law. So, multi-generational family business, mixed cropping and livestock.
Right.
Had a reasonable amount of experience in the grains industry's various roles through Ag Bureau and undertook a Nuffield Scholarship in 2015 looking at multi-generational family businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Being farmers on the Upper Eyre Peninsula, we are a long way from both the state and national domestic markets. So we really see an opportunity for both grain investors and growers to expand and diversify their businesses by establishing a grain receivables focused on perhaps more niche grains and value-add opportunities for the Eyre Peninsula.
Andrew, let's talk about the Eyre Hub for a bit. There are a few farmers that are involved in this new facility, I believe of around 100 acres. Why does the region need this grain storage facility and transport hub? Who's going to benefit from it?
Eyre Hub is a concept that's been in the pipeline driven by local community members over the last 4 or 5 years. On the grain side of Eyre Hub, we've undertaken a feasibility study in the last 5 years to understand Eyre Peninsula's grain markets as they stand, with a real focus on domestically consumed grains and containerised exports.
Right.
So through that journey, we've highlighted real opportunities for pulses such as field peas and lentils, as well as milling oats and some high-protein grains. So we're looking at those grains, not so much the bulk exports, but the grains that are currently either being processed in and around Adelaide or Melbourne, and those that are going out in containers. We've highlighted a real hole in the market in Eyre Peninsula in particular through storage and handling, cleaning and processing in general. So as far as who would benefit from this, our catchment area would be the whole of Eyre Peninsula. Currently, all of those aforementioned grains are coming through Kimber now, which would be the site of Eyre Hub, and they're being delivered to Adelaide in particular,
Right.
often in a just-in-time delivery system, which requires growers to invest quite heavily on their own storage on farm and also creates a lot of issues with quality once it makes the port. Whereas we think with having delivery options, centralised options on the Eyre Peninsula, it allows grain to be dealt with in a most responsible manner. We also see strong opportunities around regional branding and value adding. So I think Eyre Peninsula has quite a good reputation, but we want to be able to extract value from the market for our produce and the region it's been produced in.
Now, as you're putting all these plans into action and bringing this forward, what are the aims and goals of the Eyre Hub?
Eyre Hub's main drivers here are to generate job opportunities and wealth creation in the region. So we think this will allow growers to extract maximum value for their produce. It'll allow them to diversify their cropping rotations. It'll allow them to grow higher value grains, and it will create jobs along the way.
Right.
That's from the grain growers, and then the transport and logistics side of Eyre Hub. We see huge opportunities for businesses to service what is a massive market in heavy vehicle movements through Kimber currently. We have about 1,300 truck movements a week, many of which have got nowhere to safely pull off and change trailers and deal with their fatigue management. It'll certainly benefit the transport industry no end, and it'll create great opportunities for those looking to service those markets, whether it be through fuel, food or maintenance of those vehicles, we believe.
Yeah, very important. There's clearly been a lot of interest in response to the formation of the Eyre Hub facility. What sort of support have you been getting, Andrew, from within government, the industry and the community in general?
Since the formation of Eyre Hub around 18 months ago, we've seen a large number of members sign up, lifetime and supporting members We've certainly had strong support from both state and federal government to see this not only support the fatigue management, the transport side of things, but the growth in agricultural produce out of South Australia broadly and more specifically Eyre Peninsula. Most recently, Grain Producers South Australia have just undertaken a blueprint into the state's grains industry, which has really highlighted a need for additional processing and value-adding opportunities for the state's grain to build our state's GDP, which flows on to all local growers.
Well, Andrew, if we can just perhaps take a few minutes to dive into some of the key areas of Eyre Hub, and certainly the commercial opportunities for businesses to direct their expressions of interest to you. What are the commercial opportunities that businesses can be a part of in this fantastic development?
I guess if I draw that back, the actual concept of Eyre Hub is a community-based company limited by guaranteed non-distributory. So our aim is to create investment opportunities locally. So as it stands at the moment, Eyre Hub has purchased a parcel of land on the Eyre Highway. We're looking to build essentially an industrial estate, and we'll be offering up allotments there for long-term lease and or sale if required. But the unique thing about Eyre Hub is our drivers really are about creating job opportunities and growth within the region. By doing that, we're looking to use shared infrastructure services. So on the grain side, Eyre Hub proposes to install multi-use grain sampling hut and weighbridge, and will also help to facilitate the minimisation of grain loading and unloading equipment. So by having this collaborative approach, it really creates a low capex investment opportunity for grain accumulators, grain processors who are looking to get in and capitalise on what is really an underserviced grain market on Eyre Peninsula.
Right.
Likewise on the transport, with that weighbridge, we propose that that'll be a pay-per-use type weighbridge that will be available to all heavy vehicle access. We'll look to put in generous hard stands for trailer changeover, truck loading facilities, and I think there's a huge opportunity for investment on the fuel and service side of things. We've had a great lot of interest from the fuel companies, but we'll continue to work through what we think is the best fit for the drivers, for Eyre Hub, and for the whole region. We are very flexible in how these investment opportunities present. We want businesses to come forward with unique concepts about how they might service these industries, but broadly it is a commercial industrial facility that will be putting up customisable allotments to suit both the grain and transport industry.
There's clearly some tremendous opportunities there for not only the regional primary producers, but for truckies and transport businesses as well.
Absolutely.
Andrew, asking someone to look into the future is never an easy thing without the help of a crystal ball. But just for one moment, can you paint us a picture of how you see the future of this community hub, specifically for businesses, but also to the national transport sector?
Yeah, absolutely. I think as we see Eyre Hub developed in the near future, we'll see state-of-the-art driver reviver facilities, cost-effective fuel. We'll see integrated grain and processing, which will generate real domestic demand for local growers, which will in turn create more diverse agricultural rotations and more profitable farming systems locally. This integrated approach is quite exciting, but the backing of the community is very unique. We ask now for businesses to get in touch and explore how Eyre Hub might be able to service their needs and vice versa.
So on that point, Andrew, for any businesses, be they primary producers or transport related, how do they go about contacting you? What's their best way to find out more and express their interest? The
best way to contact us would be to reach out through the website, which is eirehub.com.au, or alternatively email admin@eirehub.com.au. And yes, we'd love to hear more from you.
Fantastic. We've been talking this morning with Andrew Baldock, Chairman of Eyre Hub. Andrew, thank you so much for your time. It's an exciting thing you've got happening, and we wish you the very best for the future.
Not a problem. Thanks, Andy.
So why join the United Transport Group? Well, our industry is a very complex one. Ask yourself these questions. Are there too many complex regulations? Is the chain of responsibility working? Does the COR accountability focus on driver and transport organisation? With fatigue management, do work diaries work for long-distance driving? Should we be entitled to longer fatigue exemptions to get home or to a service centre for long breaks? If a route is approved for a combination, should we all be able to have one rule for all? Should we pay different prime mover vehicle registration costs for varied combinations? Should all equipment vehicle registrations be consistent and not vary with combinations? Are the fine amounts getting out of control and not sustainable? Are we the hardest and highest regulated industry sector in the nation? Is mass management and PBS working for the entire industry? Does the industry sector need uniform standards of licensing? Do the regulations change when you cross the jurisdiction borders? Are there major issues with limited or unsatisfactory parking bays nationally? Are there high risks with lack of education and inexperienced drivers with licenses? Is oversized mass, OSOM, too complex? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you need to stand together with us at the UTG. Numbers are a powerful voice. The United Transport Group offers memberships in categories for drivers, owner-operators, transport businesses, and transport services and suppliers, all at very cost-effective and reasonable rates. And it's your choice whether you want to pay your membership annually or monthly. Just click on the Join Us section on our website. Join up today to become a part of the voice that's united for reform of the transport industry sector.